Hey guys, what is up? Brendan here, aka Brenbo, and today we're going to be doing a how-to video on how to letter your tires. If you guys don't know what lettering your tires is, it's basically when you fill in lettering that's on your tires with a color. So therefore, in today's video, I'll be doing white. So I'm going to be coloring in Continental, the brand of the tire in white, and then Extreme, which is basically the series of the tire. And this just gives the tire more racing look and makes it look more sporty in my opinion. If you look at tons of custom builds on Instagram, YouTube, they all have like lettering that's colored in. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and then I think on my car it's going to make it look pretty sick. And especially after I do a couple more mods to this car, it's going to make it look a lot better. So let's get to it. I'll show you guys the supplies we'll need. So the most important step to this is cleaning and prepping before you actually color in the tire. So you might think that the coloring is most important, but it's actually the prep. Because if you don't prep it, this could peel off or does not last a long time. So your prep is very, very important. So to start out, you need some sort of degreaser to take off all the oil off your tires. And even if you don't clean off your tires or like put Armor All Shine on it, your tire still forms tons of oils that you'll need to get off. And it'll make it look really rough and like dry after you use this degreaser, and that's what you really want. Then use a toothbrush to rub the degreaser all over the tire to get all the oils off. You could use even a rag if you want, but a toothbrush just gets in the grooves in my opinion. Next is a more optional step, but I'm going to be using sandpaper 150 grit just to like wear off the tire a little bit so it makes a rough surface for the paint to stick to, because that's how you usually like prep things on other objects. I'm not really going to get into detail, but this will make the paint stick a lot better to the tire because it'll be a more rough surface and not so smooth. So after you sandpaper the tire, you want some type of alcohol or rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to be using 70% alcohol. It doesn't really matter what kind of alcohol, just make sure it's some sort of rubbing alcohol. Take off all the little particles of rubber that you took off with the sandpaper. And then after that, you can get down to painting. But like I said, spend as much time as you want cleaning, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time with the degreaser to make sure all the oils are off so the paint sticks as much as it can and so it can last a very long time. And then just use a rag or an old t-shirt just to rub off everything before you paint, to rub off the degreaser or the alcohol, just so the tire is very dry from all your liquids you use to clean off the tire. So when you're done, it looks really, really dull and not shiny at all, because that means you took off all the oils and all the dirt is removed. But you should be able to get this thing just black and brown when you're done from all the dirt and the oils. I also forgot to mention, you can take the tires off, obviously, if you want to make this a lot easier, because you don't have to like crouch in certain ways to get certain lettering, because you have to be so stable with it. So you can jack up the car, take the tires off, makes it a whole lot easier, but I'm just not going to do that because I'm kind of lazy. I'm just going to admit that. But I would recommend definitely lifting up the car and taking off the tires and doing this. So I'm going to knock out all these tires, get them all cleaned and prepared for painting, and then I'll come back to you on showing you how to paint, and then also how much like coats to put on, what kind of marker to use to paint, and all that good stuff. So for the paint marker, I got a Sharpie one, and it's just white. It's a paint marker, so you can't get a Sharpie. It has to be a paint marker, but this is just by Sharpie. And get kind of a fine tip. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but you want a fine tip so you can get really close to the edges and not go over. but you don't want too small of a tip, so it just take forever. So I recommend just getting like a medium setting tip. And I don't know a lot about markers, but make sure it's oil based, because that means it'll just stick way better. And I guess that's what everyone else uses, so I'm just kind of copying their words of wisdom. And if you guys are getting the Sharpie brand, it's called medium. So it'll make it easy on you guys. Just get a medium size tip. And also, if you happen to get it outside of the tire, you can use a black Sharpie marker that isn't oil based, and it can cover it a little bit, but Sharpie is a little bit purple, so you might see it a little bit, so try to not get it over. And if you do, there you can use the Sharpie, but just don't try to like just go as fast as you can. Just use the Sharpie later, because it'll get it all off, because you will notice the Sharpie pen a little bit. If you guys haven't never worked with a paint marker before, just shake it like a spray can, and then push down on the tip, and then it'll put the paint in the tip, and do it like 4 times until you really see the paint starting to come on them, like get a piece of paper and just do it, and when you see a ton of paint coming out of that tip and you push it down, you know it's good. And throughout the process, just keep shaking it and pushing the tip down to put more paint on, so you have a lot of paint when you color in these letters. And for coats, I'm going to try to do about 2 or maybe 3, it depends, but the more coats you put on, the more it stands out and the longer it will last. I only have 1 pen, I'll probably end up buying another one, but I think 2 is the minimum, because I think 1 coat is just not enough, and it might like slowly just peel off or go away somehow. So I recommend for sure 2 coats at the least. So I just finished doing the lettering on the tires, and it turned out amazing. But there's one thing that I gotta tell you guys before you start this project, and that is this will take forever. I mean, it took me about a week to finish all the tires on the car, and it's just a really time-consuming process. But trust me, it's worth it in the end, because it looks professional for sure if you put enough coats on and you have the right markers. So what I mean by that is, when I started this video, I said you need a medium tip Sharpie marker, but I found out that it was just way too thick for like the really, really skinny like curves and crevices and corners, that I went and bought this. I got the Sharpie extra fine marker, and it's like as thin as a pen. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's super thin, so you can get easily in all the corners, but it doesn't put out much paint, so it takes a long time, but just for those really tight corners. So I bought 2 of those medium and then 2 of these, because it probably takes 1 marker for the back 2 tires and 1 marker for the front 2 tires. So get 2 of each size and you should be good, as long as you put like as much coats as I did. And I have no idea how much coats I put, because there was just so much, but just make sure you put a piece of paper by it, and if it's like the same whiteness, then you put enough coats on. Because what happens is, after it dries, it soaks into the tire a little bit, so it gets black. So if you put enough coats on, it'll just form a really hard layer on the tire, and then it can't get soaked anymore, and then that's when you keep putting all your layers. But then, as soon as it's white as paper, you're good. Online that over time, dirt and stuff gets on the lettering. So what I did, which I've never seen someone do, and I hope it works out, I'm gonna try it out, is I've got some clear paint, like Plasti Dip basically, but it's like a clear coat. So I'm just gonna spray this over the lettering so it can come off easy when I wash it, because it's a nice smooth surface, and it'll protect the paint so it won't whiten or get black. It'll just go on this clear coat, which will just wipe off. So I really think this is a good idea. I have not driven the car yet, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna work out really, really good. So I'm just gonna use a paintbrush, just put it on paper. You can use the paintbrush to get in all the letters, but I think it will turn out really good. So I'm gonna show you guys what the tires look like finished, but I definitely recommend you do this if you have the time, because it makes the car look amazing. And I know it's not like the style of this car, but after I do the mods that I want to, I think it's gonna look really good. But you guys already got hints of what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna leave you still with those hints. that's going to end it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this how-to video because I haven't really made a proper how-to video in a long time. So, browse the channel if you haven't already for new content. You might find something you really like. But leave a like on this video if this helped you out or you want to do it to your car. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.